And welcome, everyone. Welcome to Astro Self Care Sunday. I am your host, Kenya. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming on through. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, share if this resonates, if this lovely 30 minutes that I spend each Sunday. Although next Sunday, I won't be spending because I always take a Sunday off and it's a holiday. And so I'll be just reminding you to look at one of my other videos. And since we're starting Gemini season at that point, it'll be a Gemini video. But again, whatever. Welcome. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back each week and learning more and more about astrology. My shirt is dirty. Astrology and how you can use it. I'm gonna hide it like that. Anyway, how you can use it for your self love, for healing. And today's topic: fire, earth, air, water, and you. Self love through your Venus sign. So, this is Self Care Sunday. So, my whole goal when I come on here, if you're new to my channel, is to talk about astrology in a way that allows you, one, to demystify it and not look at it as so abstract. Two, for you to actually use it, not just hear about it, not just feel affirmed, which is good. That's what you want. That's a big, big first step. But how do you utilize it? And so, again, if this resonates, I'd love for you to I'd love for you to put in the comments a couple of things. I'm going to get to that, but definitely let me know how this is resonating for you. Put something in the comments for me. Share it and keep coming back. And if it really resonates, and particularly, I think every topic, but today particularly, because I do coaching, I use astrology as a way to help people make their breakthroughs, to transform. If you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you need more guidance, more direction, more affirmation and confirmation about next steps or what you need to do to really fully accept yourself, love yourself on a deeper level, even become more connected to a higher self, I would highly recommend that you come on over and at a minimum do a guidance reading. However, there's other things we do. I do astrology ancestral readings where I combine doing a birth chart reading along with also telling you more information about your ancestors and what you're here to shift. I also am now doing a blueprint, a digital blueprint. So if you don't want to do a full live recording, you would basically fill out a form, give me information. I'll do a video recording of the main points of your chart plus a summary. That's a new offering. And we've got a lot of other things. And I also have a membership on Patreon, patreon.com/finding your voice. If you want to meet monthly with me one-on-one to go through your chart, to learn, to grow, to expand, to heal, I highly recommend that. If you just want to be in community, there's another tier where a group of women once a month we come together, myself with another astrologer, and we talk much, much more deeply about a topic related to astrology and self-care. So lots of ways to connect. I am going to be introducing a new free summer series, free summer series, a weekly evening office hours with me, where you will, on a weekly basis, be able to come into private community with me and ask your questions and learn astrology each week this summer, with a couple of exceptions. I've got some things going on this summer where I won't be there every exact week, but most of the weeks. And you'll be given the dates and you'll find out how you can be a part of that very, very, very soon. I won't be here next Sunday live, or not live, but a recording. The one after that is when I will announce, so that you will know where to go to sign up so that you can attend free. Yes. So lots of great things. I love astrology. I love to do this. And today we are focusing on fire, earth, air. I wanted to say earth, wind, and fire, but fire, earth, air, water, and you and your Venus sign. And so we're going to talk more about Venus as we're ending this Taurus season. This really is going to bother me, y'all, the whole time. I don't even know what that is. It's like chalk because it's like not coming off. It's like all over me. I don't even know. Who knows what that is, but it's gonna it's gonna bother me. So ignore. Anyway, for the past several weeks, since we've been in Taurus season, we've been talking everything Taurus, and Venus is the planet that rules Taurus. And so Venus also rules Libra. Okay. So it has two sides. So if you have Taurus in your top three, is your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising, or if you have Libra, Libra as your sun, moon, or rising, or if you have a lot of placements sitting up in the second house, or a lot of placements sitting up in the fourth house. I'm sorry, seventh house, not fourth house. Fourth house, Libra sits in me for me. Seventh house or the second house. These are all Venusian spaces. Okay. Venus is considered a beneficent planet, meaning it's one that's attempting to teach our lessons in more favorable ways. It's attempting to get us to really, really look at our self worth, the love of self, the harmony of self, a sense of alignment and balance of self. And by having all of that, how that relates to people, others, how it relates to things, how it relates to life, to lifestyle. So Venus is this really important planet. I know for myself, I don't, so my Venus is in Libra. So whenever Venus, if you have your Venus in Taurus or your Venus in Libra, it's in its domicile, it's where it wants to be, it's comfortable, it's happy, it's full, it can do what it wants to do. It can balance, it can love, it can give the worth, it can relate. Okay. So that's a great thing. Um, when it's sitting in there. And I really do think, my signature sign, and that's a whole nother video for me to talk about how you find what your signature sign is. My signature sign is Libra, which means Venus is really dominant in my chart. Um, it's not the ruler of my chart because I'm a Cancer rising. So the moon is the ruler. But understand that the moon is exalted in Taurus and Venus rules Taurus. So, it's all kind of connected. It's all very connected. And what I want to talk about today, instead of going through every sign, I want to go through the elements. Because if you are a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces, you want to be paying attention to waters. What I talk about when I get to water, the element of water. If you are Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, you want to be paying attention to the earth when I'm talking about the earth signs. If you are Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, then that is the fire. Okay. And then if you're Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, that is the air. So pay attention based on, you want to know your element, because that's how I'm going to talk about Venus through the elements, and more specifically about how you can do self-love, how you should be thinking about self-love, self-healing, self-worth through these lenses, through these practices, through this idea. Okay. Super, super important. All right. So let's get to it. Oh, and before I get to it, I'm sorry, y'all. Got to advertise one more thing. The I Choose Me 3-day challenge. We're still open. Now, this is the thing. If you are watching this video after May 20th, the price has bumped up. If it's before May 20th, the price is still only $75 for this 3-day challenge. The 3-day challenge is all about finding your breakthrough, learning practical steps to choose yourself. And each day will really be focusing on getting to your truth and not your conditioned self. One day we'll be really focused on let's change this story that we have in our head. So that means really tackling our limited beliefs. And the third day is about making those decisions actually how are we going to make the decision? And so if there is a decision you are really attempting to make, but you're having a hard time making it, and whether it be with your health, whether it be with your career, your job, which I know is on the brains of a lot of people right now, or if it's within your relationships. You want to come to this, you want to sign up. It's going to be intimate, it's going to be small. I will be coaching you through this. It'll be group coaching style. And it gives you a taste of how I coach, how I mentor. Definitely, this is open to anyone. I know it says finding your voice after 40, but you can be any age. You just need to be in a situation where you are really feeling like you need to make a breakthrough. My services are mostly for women, mostly women of color, but honestly, this, like I said, this challenge is open to anyone. Okay, so make sure you at least go to the website, check it out. If you want more information, want to talk it over more, you can also book a free discovery call. All of that is in the description. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. I got my notes, So, as a reminder, Venus is that planet of love, beauty, and values. Love, beauty, and values. And so it absolutely impacts and influences how we express and how we receive love and affection. Okay. How we express it, our love language, but also how we want to receive it, how we want to get it from others. And that includes our self love. And I'm focusing today on self love. I have done videos and talks about Venus, your love sign, your love language through Venus using astrology. I think that video might be on my live version. If it's not in the playlist for the Astro Self Care Sunday, look under the live and you'll find that because I made that one a live one. And I need to go live again. I know. So that hopefully I'll be able to do that soon. But what I want us to focus on today and in this video is how are we relating to ourselves? What makes us feel worthy? And what or how can we prioritize ourselves? Okay. So I know a lot of times through everything that's going on in the world, everything, all the responsibilities, all the busyness, all the things, sometimes it can be difficult to really prioritize your self love. Well, I believe that if you start understanding how to do these things based on your element, based on your Venus sign, it's probably going to be easier to prioritize because you connect to it better. Okay. So I hope as we go through each of these, you'll really get that. So I'm going to give you an example. Well, actually, yeah, no, let me give you this example first. So, fire in astrology is what? Active and it's like ignite, right? Just think of what fire feels like, what fire looks like, what fire, all of those things feels like. Um, Understanding Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Aries is the cardinal or the initiator of the fire. It lights the match. Leo is the match, the flame just burning because it's fixed. And then Sagittarius is lighting that other candle over there because it's mutable. Um, and so with fire, that means that you are most likely going to express the way that you will be able to express your self love will be through these more bold actions and really feeling a better sense of confidence, like self confidence. Anything that's going to really promote and elicit that is probably stronger for a fire sign. Okay. Someone who's an air sign, the way that they understand their self confidence isn't going to necessarily maybe be through bold actions, but bold thinking. Okay. Earth sign is about bold kind of stability and having and those materials and resources that allow for the comforts. Okay. So I'm going to go through each so to get a little bit more detail, but I wanted you to be able to kind of already get this in your mind and see the pattern of this. This is the thing about astrology. Astrology is patterns. If you were good in math or are good in math, or if you're good in science, or you just connect to puzzles or, patterns, music, you probably pick up astrology quicker. because that's really what it is. It's all building on patterns and connecting dots that way. And I hope as you're watching these videos, you're beginning to connect dots. Again, if you are feeling like I'm learning it, but it's still so abstract, I would book a reading because I always help people connect those dots during my guidance readings. And then when I do this special series, these evening office hours this summer, it's going to be called Astro Scholars, so that you're learning. That's really going to be the point, is for us to really be connecting dots, and you asking questions to help you connect the dots. But it's super important to kind of see these patterns that are happening with everything. And so Venus is giving you that insight on your how you're going to express your self-worth, but then how you cultivate deeper acceptance. Okay, a deeper sense of not just love but acceptance. I think that's the specialness of astrology and human design and cardiology, these different tools, these different mystic tools, spiritual tools that allow you to see yourself in a deeper way than maybe just sitting and thinking about things. Okay. So let's go through it. So just in general, for my fire signs, when it comes to your self-love, your healing, the things you need to do, it there has to be a level of passion and enthusiasm and a level of adventure. If there is no passion, enthusiasm, adventure, and some type of expression and confidence that can be elicited, that's not going to altogether feel as connecting. You may not prioritize it so much. If I'm just journaling in a book, unless it's extremely passionate, unless it's extremely bold, unless there's a lot of expression and expressive energy going into that, that may not necessarily be the thing for you, right? So just understand, you need that quality. Whereas if you're air is about my thinking, my mind. How am I thinking about it? Okay, my intellect. How am I being intellectually challenged, intellectually stimulated? And this is obviously in our relationships, but also in how you are loving yourself. So doing a lot of writing and journaling is going to be much stronger for an air Venus sign, or just the air sign period. If you are air in your sun, moon, or rising, this is going to relate to that too. You're going to relate to that. But particularly pay attention to your Venus sign, because that is really where you are more tied into the self-worth. You may naturally kind of, if you're an air sign, you're naturally going to be guided toward intellect, but you want to look at your Venus sign because it's going to help you have a more deepened experience. Okay. It is also, air is not going to be as detached, or I mean, not as attached. It's got a more detached energy, but still affectionate. It's just not coming from the same space as a water sign, which I'm going to get to in a moment. Our earth, so the air was my Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, just in case you aren't sure which one are the air signs. So you want to look at your Venus. You got to pull out your chart, look at your Venus, and see. So, for instance, I have Libra Venus. Okay. And for me, absolutely stimulate my mind, my mind. Give me the words. Tell me the words. Yes. And w- while I think I am extremely affectionate when I am in the spaces of having those words and having that intellectual connection. It's much harder for me to show that affection if I don't have necessarily the words. So I am a Scorpio, which is water, and so there are some water for sure aspects of things. But when I really think about how I go about loving others and how I go about loving myself, I feel the most affirmed when I am in an intellectual kind of connection. When there is some balance, when there is a sense of relating to beauty and beauty of myself, and even talking here with you, okay, sharing this information, relating to you. that makes me feel more confident. It makes me feel more self assured. So that's just kind of an example. Your Earth are our Taurus and Virgo and Capricorn. And if that is your Venus, y'all need some practicality. That is sexy. Give me stability. Give me some commitment and loyalty. Okay. And let me enjoy this physical aspects that I am given in this world. The esoteric spaces, that Pisces stuff. Nah. Let me see it. Let me feel it. Let me interact with it. And let me and feel as though it is, I can grab it whenever I know it's there. So as I'm taking care of myself, routines, absolutely. Making sure there's certain comforts, absolutely. Okay. And I'm going to go deeper in just a moment with that too. And then our water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The earth again was Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, if I didn't say that. But the water is Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, all about the emotions, right? So emotional depth, relying on your intuition. The more you can rely on your intuition and show a certain level of compassion toward yourself, whatever that activity is, it has to have some idealism to it, maybe even romanticism to it, but it has to, whatever it is you're doing for yourself has to impact you, the emotional self, not just the mental, not just the mind and cognitive, but the emotional, if that is your Venus. Okay. So let me give you more specific examples, okay? Because I have them all listed out here in my notes as you're thinking. So for my Aries and my Leo and my Sagittarians, okay, these are my fire signs. All right. Hold on, let me go to my other thing of my notes. Connecting with self love through passionate self expression and embracing your individuality and pursuing your desires with courage, that's going to make you feel alive. That's going to make you feel inspired. That's how you want to go and approach your self love. Okay. Passionate self expression and your uniqueness, your individual, and be more than not so much just uniqueness, but your individuality, your autonomy, being able to have ownership of your own and your own in a very confident and bold way. Whereas my earth signs, so my Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, you want to find self love in more of these nurturing physical well being and by creating stability in your life, creating security and things that are tangible. So building, having your home in a way that you exactly want it, having it organized, um, having it in a way where it's predictable. Like I'm not moving every minute, right? I have created this home. It is stable. I'm getting it into a space where it's of all the things that make me feel comfortable, that make me feel secure. That's very grounding and it's very practical. Practicality is not a bad thing. I think sometimes we think, and especially if your Venus sign is not Earth, if you have an Earth Venus sign, practicality is sexy. Okay. And so we have to be careful. This is why when you're dating people, it's like, find out their Venus sign, please find out their Venus sign. Because practicality to some people can be off-putting, can be boring, can be like, I don't want it to be practical. But for someone who is a Capricorn Venus or a Taurus Venus or a Virgo Venus, that practicality is going to mean that they're going to be way more committed, way more loyal, way more connected. Okay. Air signs, my Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, your self love, like I said before, is that intellectual stimulation and connecting with other people. Okay. And also, the freedom to really explore ideas and perspectives and doing, I am all about like podcasts. I'm constantly listening to podcasts and how other people relate to each other, relate to their lives. Those things really soothe me. When I go to do my walk, when I am cleaning my house, when I am doing kind of more of those earthy things, I need to have my mind stimulated to a certain degree as well, because then that's what's going to actually really make me feel connected to myself. Okay. Whereas my water signs, last but not least, my Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces Venus, you're relating to self love through emotional depth, through your intuition. You cannot abandon your intuition if you have a water Venus sign. Like, it's critical. So, listening to your inner world, being able to have the time where, if it's through therapy, if it's through writing, if it's through walking, reflecting, whatever it is that's tapping you into your inner world, that's how you are feeling like you are honoring yourself. When you honor your sensitivities, when you honor your feelings, you don't wait for other people to honor your feelings. That's when you're doing that real self love. I do think that water signs, period, whether that's your Venus or your sun, moon, or rising, you have to be very careful that you are not waiting for others to validate the sensitivities that are within yourself. Because when you do that, when you wait, you start minimizing, and then that just builds resentment. And remember, you are water, which means your emotions, you feel. And so that resentment can turn really jeopardizing and really go into a low frequency if it's not checked. Okay. So that is this love, earth, air, water, and you. Again, find out your Venus sign. And all that I just said, you want to, this is why you also want to book a reading, or at a minimum do one of the summaries where I record and I tell you, I give you a blueprint and a summary, because one of the things I do in the blueprint is a digital summary. So you'll receive it digitally. And if you're like, well, how do I do that? How do I get that? Fill out our interest form that's in the description, or that's also in this link tree that's scrolling. And then you just indicate it. There's a little box, and then you'll get followed up on how, what the information I need to do that. But that's our most economical service. But by doing that, I will tell you kind of elementally what's very dominant in your chart. If you have mostly air in your chart, if you have mostly water in your chart, mostly earth in your chart, because while Venus is what we focused on today, we also want to just look at overall what do you have, what are you heavy in, so that you can start taking care of yourself based on the element, not just getting caught up on the sign. I am a Scorpio sun and I am a Cancer rising. That is too watery, right? But my Venus is air. And my signature sign, what's more dominant in my chart actually, is more Libra energy, which means it's more air energy. So I have to be able to look at both. I've got dominant, obviously, those two are dominant. And so when it comes to self love and self worth, I have to pay more attention to that Libra Venus. Because even though I am water, when it comes to really accepting myself, I need to consider the water, but I really need to consider, what am I doing to intellectually connect and connect to others and relationships. Okay. Okay. I think that is it. So again, next Sunday, we're closing out the chapter of Taurus season. We're going to go into Gemini season. I will not be posting a new video. It'd be the holiday. Understand, during that holiday weekend, Saturn is going into Aries. Wow. Woo. So I somewhere need to talk about that, because it's quite significant. Because Neptune is already in there, now Saturn's coming in there, and Saturn going into Aries means it's significant. Okay, it's really about, all right, because Aries wants to go, but Saturn is like, hold up, have you done the work? We know you want to be the confident I am, and I'm bold, and I'm fiery, but did you do the work? Did you study? Did you take your time? Did you build? Did you get in alignment? Did you get to the truth? Did you make your goals? Did you make a strategy? That's what Saturn is doing. It's always, did you do this? Did you? Because Saturn wants us to work, and not to work in this toxic way that we've made work mean in particularly American culture. We're talking about the work of sitting down and getting honest, sitting down and being patient, sitting down and honoring the truth of who you are, and doing the steps and clearing out the things that don't serve and letting go of the blocks and letting go of the resentment, that is work too. And Saturn wants you to be responsible. So it's a big deal. So we will at some point. I mean, it's going to be there for a while. It's going to go retrograde later. If you're in your Saturn return, welcome, welcome. If you are Saturn Aries, that means you are starting your Saturn return, and that means you are in your late 20s or you're in your mid to late 50s. So yeah, so we'll be back, but I won't have a new video that next week, but we will be in Gemini season. So we'll have to talk everything Gemini and third house and Mercury. Those are the three big things, the element of air, and so we'll dig deep into air. I'll do a video really about air and what that means and that quality for Gemini, and then what some current transits. We have a major transit about to happen with Uranus coming into Gemini, which is going to be wonky wonky. And it's gonna be there for some years. So, we gotta put on our seatbelts and get ready to fly. Okay, get ready to fly. All right, that is it. You all have an amazing Sunday. I'll see you soon. Make sure you book a reading, or at a minimum, book a free discovery call. At a very, very minimum, fill out our new interest form so we know what you're interested in. And I hope to see you soon. All right, you all take care. Bye.